good morning. Yep, that's right. It's me, Uncle Lou, live for you on LouTube today. Yep, thanks for watching. It's Friday. The weekend's here. Some games tonight, too, which is amazing. I talked about those earlier in the week, though. Miami plays tonight. Keep an eye on that one. Yeah, just, keep an eye on it. But anyway, Friday means the Uncle Lou Top 10 for this week. Remember, this is Uncle Lou's top 10, not yours, not the AP, not the coaches, not anybody else's. This is my top 10. I use scientific data and very complicated analysis to come up with this top 10. And it is the most legitimate top 10 out there, week in and week out. So without any further ado, which is already too late for that, we'll go ahead and get right into this week's top 10. Now, coming in at number 10, you already know, I've told you every time I've done this, Washington Huskies, they're staying at number 10 till they either make the playoff or lose a game. I don't believe they're a good team. I think they play in a bad conference and they have an even worse schedule. Their three non-conference games this year were Fresno State, Montana State, and Rutgers. Rutgers is a Power 5 team, but they're probably the worst one. Either them or Kansas, Montana State, Fresno State. What are you doing? But anyway, they finally did play somebody last week, Colorado, which is no good, and they beat them 37-10. This week they get Oregon State, another world beater. Oregon State coming in at 1-3. So yeah, Washington probably win the game. But guess what? Breaking news and spoiler alert too. Even if they win 111-0, they'll still be number 10 next week. Yep. So the Washington Huskies, your number 10 team this week. Number 9, new into Uncle Lou's top 10 this week. I figured I need to put my money where my mouth is, so to speak. Hold on, I dropped something here. Dropped my list here. Anyway, I figured I need to put my money where my mouth is here when it comes to this poll. Earlier in the week, when I was doing some of the game previews, I talked about the Virginia Tech Clemson game and how if you want Clemson to lose a game this year, then you're probably a Virginia Tech fan this weekend. And I said, you know, what the heck? I'll go ahead and call for the upset. I say Virginia Tech wins. It's at Virginia Tech. Well, I figured if I was going to pick Virginia Tech to beat Clemson, then I might as well go ahead and list Virginia Tech as a top 10 team. So that's what I did. I moved them up to number 9 this week. They're undefeated. I've told you before, for you people out there that want Ohio State, or even people used to want Florida State in the top 10, I don't think those people are around anymore, though. Listen, at this point in the season, there's too many good undefeated teams for me to have a team with any losses in my top 10. Now, that's going to change at some point. All these teams can't stay undefeated forever. For example, Clemson and Virginia Tech. One of them's getting beat this weekend. So anyway, but I figured I'd go ahead and move them in. So I have Virginia Tech in this week at number 9. Of course, they play Clemson tomorrow at home. Number 8, Southern Cal. You know, I had to drop Southern Cal down. And if there's any Southern Cal fans watching, and I know there's at least one, Moose. You know, I was high on Southern Cal all offseason, and it's just one of the things I've been wrong on. They just have not looked impressive. They struggled to beat a terrible Texas team, and then this week, who'd they play this week? Cal. They played Cal this week. They won 30-20 with a couple of late touchdowns to win the game, and 6 turnovers. Now, they didn't have 6 turnovers. Cal had 6 turnovers. I mean, how lucky, that's luck. You're not normally going to get 6 turnovers in a game. And you needed all 6 of those to beat something called Cal. Not impressive. Sam Darnold was one of my preseason Heisman guys. Hard to have him on the list now. Southern Cal just doesn't look like they're clicking right now. Anyway, this week they play Washington State on the road. And this is another upset that I picked. I picked Washington State to beat them. We'll see if, you know, if that happens or not. I don't know. That's why they call it an upset. But anyway, just haven't been impressed with Southern Cal. I've had them up in my top 4 in some of these polls, but they just haven't shown me anything. And until they do, they're either going to continue to fall or stay towards the bottom of the top 10. This week coming in at number 8. Number 7, Wisconsin. Wisconsin's a hard team to figure out. I don't think Wisconsin is an elite team. You know, like, do I think Wisconsin could beat any of the top 2 or 3 teams? Probably not. But they're just not going to lose a game, are they? I don't think they are. They're in a terrible division in the Big Ten. They're going to make the Big Ten title game. Their season really doesn't start until the Big Ten title game. They're a lot like Washington, kind of. They just don't play anybody, and it's hard just to judge them or base them off of anything you've seen. I mean, last week, what were they off last week? They play Northwestern this week at home. I mean, are you going to learn anything from that game? Probably not. Anyway, Wisconsin coming in at number 7. Number 6, who do I have? Michigan. Michigan, another team that's kind of up and down, demolishes Florida, which, how impressive is that, really? Doesn't seem very impressive these days. Anyway, they beat Purdue 28-10 last week. Some people had that as a game to watch. Why? Because Purdue beat Missouri? Who cares? A lot of people are going to blow Missouri out. Prime example, Auburn. Doesn't mean they're an elite team, Purdue. Anyway, so yeah, Michigan goes out, beats Purdue 28-10. Didn't look great doing it, but, I mean, you won by 18 points. How much really can you complain? So yeah, Michigan coming in this week at number 6. They're off this week, too. Pretty sure. Number 5. Oh, yeah, for number 5, go ahead and put UGA there. Number 5. Yeah, UGA currently 5th best team. According to Uncle Lou poll, I think in the AP they're 7. Of course, AP poll, not near as accurate as Uncle Lou. But yeah, I mean, look, of all the teams on this list here, only Clemson has a schedule that can compare to UGA's. Okay, that's it. UGA, and look, I see you in the comments. Who have you played? You ain't played nobody. You ain't beat nobody. Listen, that's just factually not true. Okay, Mississippi State and Notre Dame each have only one loss, and it's to UGA. Other than that, they're undefeated. Mississippi State and Notre Dame, both currently in the top 25. We beat both of them. Notre Dame was on the road. Yeah, it was a 1-point win, but it was on the road with a true freshman making his first road start, and we got the win. That's all that matters in that situation. Mississippi State, we absolutely destroyed them at home, 31-3. The game was never in question. The other two nobodies that we played, we destroyed them. App State and Samford, we completely dominated and humiliated them. We've done everything we're supposed to do. You can keep on with the who have you played if you want to, but you can look it up, okay? Only Clemson has beat Clemson and Georgia, the only two teams currently with wins over currently ranked top 25 teams. Clemson and Georgia have 2. No one else has 2, okay? Nobody. So you can keep it up with the who have you played. There's also a list floating around of the top 10 teams and the combined record of every team each of those teams have played, and UJ's on the top of that list too. Okay, so even the crappy teams that we played, App State and Stanford, have winning records. So, I mean, that's just what it is. So keep crying. Meanwhile, UJ will keep winning and moving up the poll. Currently this week, number 5 on the UJ poll. Number 4, another team that had to drop down, Alabama. I mean, it's nothing personal. I mean, you just have to be real. Alabama just looked kind of average this year. Yeah, they beat Vanderbilt on the road, but it's Vanderbilt, okay? I never thought I'd see the day where I saw Alabama bragging over beating Vanderbilt. And what's even sadder, talking about who have you played, that's their best win. I mean, that's Alabama's best win currently. This week they play Ole Miss. Is Ole Miss any good? No. Does Ole Miss have any motivation to play? No. NCAA, sanctions, more coming, bowl ban, all this kind of stuff. So they'll probably go out and dominate Ole Miss too. What are you going to learn from that? Not a whole lot. But anyway, no sense in getting mad about it. 4 teams make the playoff, and Alabama, I got you at number 4. So cry if you want to, but that's just the way it is. Okay. Number 3, I have Oklahoma. They have an impressive win against Ohio State. No denying it. It was a road win at Ohio State, and they dominated the entire time. So say what you want. I'm not an Oklahoma fan. I think the Big 12 is terrible. I mean, look at Oklahoma last week. They played Baylor. Baylor hadn't won a damn game all year. Oklahoma goes out and beats Baylor 49-41. Proving what? Exactly what I've been saying for 2 years on here. No such thing as defense in the Big 12. Doesn't impress me that a Big 12 team goes out and averages 40 or 50 points a game, because we all know what's going to happen if one of them makes the playoff and faces off against Clemson or an SEC team or anybody with a defense. They're going to struggle to score 20. We've seen it time and time and time again. We saw it with Oregon out of the Pac-12. It's just what it is. So it doesn't impress me that Oklahoma scored 49 points on Baylor. Just reinforces the point that I already knew. They gave up 41. There's no defense out there. It's just what it is. Number 2, Penn State. Penn State has been as impressive as anyone I've seen this year. I think Saquon Barkley's probably the best player in college football this year. If they gave the Heisman away right now, he'd get my vote. I think he's the best running back this year in college football. Penn State goes out week in and week out, does what they're supposed to do. They struggled a little bit this past week at Iowa. But look, Iowa beats teams every year at home that they're not supposed to beat. So Penn State was lucky to get out of there with a win. They'll stack up a few more wins along the way here, and then they do have some tough games coming up, and we'll find out what they're all about then. But this week they get Indiana at home. That game won't be a contest. Penn State should win big. And number 1, the Gators, Clemson. Yeah, I picked them to lose this week, but I'm still putting them at number 1. Like I mentioned, they're the only other team currently with 2 wins over top 25 teams. They've beat Auburn barely, and they smoked Louisville. So I think they're deserving of the number 1 ranking. They're defending national champions. They haven't lost a game. Their defense has looked really, really good. Offense is probably going to get better as the year goes on. They're another team starting a first-year quarterback. Those teams tend to get better offensively as the year goes along. They have a big game tomorrow at Virginia Tech. We'll see. There could be a big shakeup in these rankings next week if Virginia Tech can pull off the upset. We'll see. Anyway, that's this week's top 10. Check you out some football games tonight, and of course, tons of games tomorrow. I'll have another video for you tomorrow morning. Don't know what we'll do yet, but we'll think of something. Anyway, have a great day and a good morning if you can.